I wanted to do another update. It's May the 14th, and there have been some awesome developments. So, pretty much what happened, well, over the weekend, the last weekend here that just passed, there really hasn't been a whole lot happening. It's just been pretty quiet. Both of our volunteer coordinators, actually, one of them had to go away for a month. So she's gone, and then the other volunteer coordinator, he's gonna be taking care of us while we're here. So, anyways, it's been very interesting because over the weekend, like I said, very quiet. I did the hike. I just explored around town. I tried to learn a little bit of Spanish, all that stuff. But anyways, yesterday was the first day to actually volunteer. So Oscar, who is our volunteer coordinator, took us down to the clinic, which is literally just kitty corner across from here, across the plaza. So super close, and went over there and got introduced to the director of the hospital, or the health clinic, and got introduced to this lady who's actually going to be my boss, and her name is Erica, and she speaks a little bit of English, so that's kind of cool. And then I actually got placed the entire day with a completely Spanish nutritionist. So anyways, it was very interesting because I literally just got to like sit in the room. She kind of tried to explain a couple of the things that she was the kinds of information that she was asking, like, okay, if you're this tall and you're this far along in your pregnancy, this is what your weight should be, and just checking on what they're eating and stuff like that. And it was really quite interesting because the first patient that was in there was this elderly lady, just a senior lady, needed to get more calcium, stuff like that. So that was the first patient, and other than that, every single girl that came in there, or every single patient and slash or girl that came in there was an indigenous girl from one of the indigenous tribes that was pregnant. And it was just crazy because some of these girls look really young. And sure enough, I kind of like worked my way around Spanish and asked them how old they are, and when did they get married. And in the indigenous tribes, girls actually start getting pregnant around the age of 10, which is, I mean, it just blows my mind. And not only that, but nobody ever uses protection. So, women have like 5, 6, 7 children, and they can't, I mean, there's no way they can afford to feed their families. And I mean, I walked, when I did the hike, I walked beside this one family, maybe about 4 kids, and a woman was there. And yeah, they literally just had pieces of metal put up around a tree, and that was their house. And they lived right by a creek, and there you go. And it's like, I saw these indigenous women, and they always wear really loose, big dresses. And there's one type of dress in particular that they always wear. And anyways, I didn't realize it, but it almost seems like they only wear that particular type of dress ever because they're pregnant all the time. So anyways, it was just very interesting to find that out. And to hear the diets of some of these women was just mind-numbing almost. And the nutritionist is asking questions like, oh, how many glasses of water a day do you have? And they're like, well, none. And the nutritionist was like, no water, not even a glass? No. Okay, well, how much fruit do you have a day? No, nothing. And it's just like, I realize they're very poor, and the poverty is oh, just blows your mind. But at the same time, it's like, why would you want to put yourself in a situation where you're getting pregnant all the time? Mind you, maybe they don't know any better, or this is what has been passed down to them, right? But anyways, it was insane to see that kind of stuff. And 5 cups of coffee a day and stuff like that. So anyways, it was quite an experience, both in finding out how these people live, and trying to communicate in very broken Spanish. And I kept jotting down little words that I kept hearing, and looking them up and stuff like that. So I mean, overall, I have to say that the one thing that I find is working in my advantage a lot is the fact that I was in a situation where I did not know the language before, which is when we moved to Canada. So, now to be in a situation where I have to communicate in Spanish and I only know a few words, it's definitely challenging, but I'm not finding it too frustrating, simply because I know you know, uh, how to communicate without even having to actually speak the language, and using the couple of words that I do know. So anyways, it was very interesting. I got to job shadow the nutritionist for about 4 hours, and then I had to take off. I came back to the volunteer apartment and met up with Oscar and Sarah, and we both headed off to David, and we went to this place. It's called Amigos, and it's a house where orphan kids with cancer live. So pretty much the kids, they go to the hospital, they get their chemo or treatments or whatever, and then they come back to the Amigos place, and they just like keep their recovery there. So anyways, we went over there and just met with the lady who was in charge, and it was more geared towards Sarah, because as much as I like kids and stuff, just from running my own daycare at the Grand Hotel and all that stuff, it's just like I'm not. If I can possibly volunteer anywhere else other than with kids, that's what I'm gonna do. And I mean, I've had plenty of eye twitches from kids, so I'm just trying to stay away from that. Anyways, so today has been a super exciting day. This morning at 8 a.m. from 8 till 10:30, I volunteered at the clinic again. And this was just a very much informational sort of day. And I ended up actually staying with Erica all day. And this girl is like a Spanish version of me. It's so awesome. And anyhow, we were just talking, and she was showing. She's actually an EMT, but it seems to me like the EMTs here uh, pretty much get the first aid training, and then sort of anything else they sort of need to deal with, they kind of learn from the people around them or on their own or whatever. So anyways, she's the only EMT in Boquete, and she's got her own little ambulance and stuff like that. Just a tiny little girl, maybe like 5'2" or so. And anyhow, but she's also very much about learning and asking questions and stuff like that. So anyhow, she was showing me like the emergency room and how everything works and what everything is, and she actually taught me how to take the blood pressure with a stethoscope, and just like the regular like pressure sleeve, right? Like without any digital stuff. So that was really cool, and I got to like hear it and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, and then we went out to the ambulance, and she showed me everything in there, and we were talking about everything. And I actually ended up telling her, I was a little surprised that she didn't notice, but whatever. About if your lungs are filling up with fluid, that you should be like if you're in a first aid situation, anyways. Um, you should essentially puncture the lung between the ribs and have a piece of like a plastic grocery bag or whatever and tape it along three sides as tightly as you can across the puncture wound. So that way when the person breathes in, the fluid will come out, but then when they exhale and create the negative pressure in their lungs, the bag will seal up the hole. So, anyways, it was interesting because she's never heard about that before, and it was kind of cool, just to kind of share that because I learned that in my first aid course, and yeah, it was just really cool, and we were talking about everything and discussing stuff, and yeah, she was telling me about her schooling and when she had to learn how to put like an IV in and stuff that, the students would practice on each other on how to like draw blood and put in the IV. So all the students were walking around with a bunch of like puncture holes in their arms and stuff. But yeah, it was just very interesting, and she keeps delivering babies here because the health center here is not quite equipped for baby deliveries. So she is usually the one to pick up the pregnant women in an ambulance and then try and rush them down to David, which is 40 minutes away. And by the time some of these women come over, they're already 8 or 9 centimeters dilated. So, I mean, that baby's coming in that ambulance. That's the way it is. So, anyways, that's it. You can definitely see the majority of the medical equipment that they have. The more you can see where the money is invested is always for childbirth stuff. So, anyways, it's just kind of interesting. But it was very, very, I don't know, it was just educational and awesome and stuff like that. So, anyhow, we walked back into the health center after that and took a little tour, and she showed me, some of the patient areas and the doctor's offices and where the blood was drawn and pressure was taken and stuff. And I actually got to watch one of the nurses stitch up this boy because he got bit by a dog. And oh my gosh, he was just screaming bloody murder, maybe 4 or 5 years old. And he just did not want to be there. His mother is holding him down, and the nurse is trying to work as fast as possible. And Erica actually ended up trying to like hold his head at one point because he had like some rocks stuck in his head or something. So, anyways, and the kid just did not want to be there. And I was a little surprised to find out that they don't actually freeze you before they start stitching you. So I imagine that hurts quite a bit. So, anyways, but I mean, you make do with what you can around here, and that's about it. So, anyways, other than that, I got some homework from Erica. She wanted me to investigate a little bit about surgical masks because they were never told which side it needs to go on. Usually, one side is like blue and it's like lightly woven material, and then the other side is white and it's much more dense. So, anyways, I was just researching that, and I wanted to research some stuff on the oxygen tanks that they have, and yeah, just try and touch up some of my medical terminology in Spanish. So, anyways, it's just been really good. And tomorrow again, I get to go over there from 7 till about 9 or 10. And yeah, it's gonna be good. I think that I was telling her that I worked for a surgical company before, so I have a little bit of knowledge about sutures, gauzes, catheters, just all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, and then I also told her that I was in administration for 8 years. So it's really good because she was kind of surprised and stuff. But yeah, it's. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to actually help her do some stuff, because when she's not actually responding to an emergency, which is most of the time she's not, she writes, patient files or puts stuff into the computer. So I'm pretty sure that there's going to be an opportunity to try and help her out. So, anyways, it's very, very exciting. Even though I told them and the director said that I will not be doing anything with patients, um, I have a feeling that, if, for example, something's happening and I need to like just hold the patient's, neck sturdy or whatever, that's something that I would be able to do. And I mean, that's already way more than I hoped for, so I'm very excited. Yeah, so that's about it. I think that's it for the update. Everything else is really good. My budget is definitely starting to like get really tight because I'm really, really approaching the limit of what I wanted to spend on this entire trip. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So hopefully everybody who is watching is doing okay, and I'll talk to you later.